earth, I bid you stand, men of the West!
Yes! For them! For them! Here we go, Grayhound are getting into this, and with a rip-roaring speech to open up, they will manage to get up into the red room. Let's see if that inspires them in the pistol round here. It's not looking good. Oh man, locked out by the pistols. They've been shut down. And so the Fellowship disbanded in round one. This one is already thrown to the wayside. It's the ORKS coming out in numbers.
Well, Ali, can he be the savior? Obviously, the speech didn't get through those noise-cancelling headphones because he wasn't fired up enough. But 1v4 angle. What can they do on the T side of Ancient here? Nice little two-tap onto Olymp. A good start. And with a minute on the clock, there is time to make it happen. But the bomb down in red room is a irretrievable position at the best of times. Big flank coming through from HS eventually. But can he get there in time? These dualies at range, not necessarily the best tool for the job, but the Glock, you can say the same thing about it. Ali with the read, though. And now 40 seconds remain. If he does this, it'll be catastrophic to the emotions of ORKS. But do ORKS have emotions? Harry, that's the question I'm asking you.
That's what we're going to have to find out, right? Just how pissed did the ORKS get? And she's had the bomb be retrieved. Oh, aliStair messes the jump across. Oh, no. Fumbles two different jumps. These are costing him critical seconds here. Now he's got to run it all the way up ramp. Kind of has to commit to the plant immediately, so it's going to be knife out at best. And there we go. Vegi domes him. It's a good attempt from aliStair, right? Getting it from the 1v4 down to the 1v2. The fact that we're even considering that is kind of crazy. In the end, though, it's the ORKS. These ORKS looking more like, is it ORKS? The kind of level 2 ORK.
Level 2 ORK, yes, exactly. Thank you very much for that, Harry.
No worries, man. Look, I'm just trying to live up to Mac's speech. That was phenomenal. Dude, one of the things I really love about you, Mac, is the camera's alive, everything's rolling, someone will just say, do this, and you've never seen, you know, you did a front flip day one.
Yeah, mate.
Like, we all just kind of glossed over that, never saw it go anywhere, never saw anyone make a real big deal out of it. Homie just did a front flip. Wasn't planned, spoke to Henry about that. Henry did just kind of say,
he's a gymnast.
Do a front flip, and then Mac did it.
Yeah, mate.
And now in this instance, you've delivered the rip-roaring speech to open this up into the tech pause now. So
I'll tell ya, I've got 2 strong points.
Go on. 2.
Strength, I was going to say physical education, but obviously you saw the ping pong didn't go well.
No, but that's fine.
Finesse.
That's more like
That's a finesse sport.
Yeah, right?
Well, that's, okay,
You're
physical
more
education.
brute force.
And spontaneity. if that's a skill.
Why were you thinking so hard on the second one? You couldn't even list 2 good traits. Like, I have a nice mustache, could have been
I was
one.
going to use creativity, but, you know, that...
But it didn't come to you in time.
No.
So.
I was trying to be too creative, and we went a different way. We already won that badge for the tech pause hole in one, but I feel like someone could run out and do it again if anyone's feeling nimble.
All right, both teams are ready. This is done and dusted.
Are they ready to go?
Oh, it's already over?
We're coming
That
back.
was a short tech pause, man. The good ones are the long
I like
ones.
the short ones.
And
there they are. No, we're not quite back. Almost back.
oh, it's a faux start, man. It's a false start. See, look, they had us going in the first half. Even... All right, screw it. I'll go do the hole-in-one.
Oh, yeah, you do
I'll
the
go do a
hole-in-one?
hole-in-one. Why not?
Have a crack, mate. Have a crack.
Why not? I'll nail it first time, Yanko. I see you rolling your eyes, man. I'm going to go do it.
All right, you go do that, Harry.
Well, let's see if we can get a camera on this.
Harry
Let's see
really
his
keen on
form.
these badges. Loves camping.
Oh, he's showing off to the bloody models on stage here.
Luckily,
Sporting the ESL shop merch.
Chad didn't hear this to fall over the green again to you know,
That was horrible.
prevent Harry from getting a hole-in-one.
Those team counter guys, man, I tell you.
Oh no, he's on camera now, so there's no way that
You got a
this is
couple
going
of
to
shots
happen.
here. The hole in one
He's
not
choking.
happening.
He doesn't handle the publicity really well or the attention. Close.
You got
no
time.
cigar.
You don't need to rush King.
What that?
That was the
doesn't
gimme.
count.
That was the gimme.
Okay, third time's the charm, Harry. Oh,
Ooh,
No.
slightly to the right. The wind in here, it's crazy. And
Well,
he's out of balls.
thanks
he's
for
all
that,
out of
Harry.
balls.
that was very helpful.
just all over the place.
Why did you give up, Harry?
Anyway, yeah, why didn't you go again? So, I need you to tell me, Harry, what the hell is going on? What the hell has gone on the green?
Right. I went and had a little look. Everything's busted, man. Everything's busted over there. I tell you what. Looks like
Do I need to go and fix it?
aliStair's throwing PCs around, man. Like it's chaos.
Yeah,
You can see, man. They're all devastated by what's happened. No, I mean, you know, just kind of little pervasive tech issues, but they're the best kind. Gives us lots of time to talk. Dude, I felt good about the golf. I had good form on the kind of run-up. It was just the getting it in the hole was the hard part.
It's always the way. That's always the way, isn't it?
Nice, Harry. You proud of that?
No, it's not one of my best jokes, but you know
Luckily, the issues have been solved.
There we
We're
go.
back into the Counter-Strike,
There
so
we
please,
go.
Harry, just tell us what's on screen, man. Can you do that?
I could do that. Yeah, let's go.
Let's
Look
start
at
by
this,
doing
right?
that.
So
let's see
it's
if they can hold B as good as you and me in CS2.
oh, well, that's a pretty tall order, Yanko. We both know that. We got the nade tech down. So the ORKS, they lob in some of those early nades at ramp just to thwart a potential fast round, but it's pretty measured from Grayhound here. They're hoping they can get a bit of aggression down ramp, right? Flood over that one kill. Get fed something at the start of this. Also, not playing it fast left them at the hands of that util. So they're fine to just chill out and wait here.
And ORKS are just chilling. They don't even want to use any extra utility at this point. I think they can, you know, they understand that Grayhound likes to eco with no plant, and there's no reason for them to spend these nades.
Comes the banger. Vegi going to be able to have his picking, have his way with Grayhound, but that is going to be the bomb plant down, and it's exactly what they were looking for, just to buff the economy going into the third, but it's a second in the bag for the Poles.
I feel like both teams will be happy with this. ORKS, because they didn't lose anyone. Vegi got 4 kills, so he has a lot of money. He could even drop the op to Milky if he wanted to for this round. And Grayhound going to be really happy with the plan from just having a Glock eco. That gives them a full buy and some money left over. So even if they lose the round in plat, they can buy again. That's going to be important. And we don't see any upgrades from ORKS. 1 FAMAS, 3 MP9s, and a UMP. So what you're going to see from them now is trying to get into the face of Grayhound, maybe going down mid quickly, take some sort of a risk. You can't really play default with these guns against the AKs.
Ooh. Big damage from the util. Sico follows through with a spray through the smoke there. There's going to be a cracker at the start of the round. Olymp going to be able to find at least one with the FAMAS, but Ali close to trade. Olymp getting a little bit too big for his boots. Going for the re-swing there. Aggression through mid. Vegi going to be able to find a little bit more. But in the 3v2, it's still going to be extremely hard for ORKS to convert here.
Ooh, aliStair really wants to be fed this kill. He really wants to. This round is still a little peculiar, especially with Grayhound being so separated. However, Vexite's got this one for free. His lurk over towards B is rewarded, and so now the pressure kind of gets alleviated. The bomb, it looked like it was going to go back there. Grayhound just kind of deciding they don't want to overcook this. They're going to rotate it back in with Liaz, and they should have this one in the bag. Not too worried about it. They slow it down in the 3v2 to not allow any weirdness to come through, giving Vexite a bit of room to maneuver.
This is something where probably, you know, ORKS maybe not thinking it through in the second round. What are they going to buy? Because if they know that Grayhound likes to Glock eco, then you don't need so many SMGs, because you have to play the AKs in the third round. So it's better to even buy small armor in an M4 if you're certain that they don't buy up on the T side with no plant, because that really leaves you in a massive disadvantage in round 3. So probably something that they overlooked.
Ooh. Ali, he was hungry for the first strike at mid. It will be flashed off, naded away.
They heard that scope.
Yeah, they're aware. Still a 2-man defense towards B. And Vexite lurking up a storm. Worked well in the previous round. But there's no aggression coming through from the CTs. They're happy just to play reactive. Let Grayhound make the first move. There's that flash out. Ali going to be tucked down, but they forgot that there could be a second man at mid. Sico saving the day.
We know Olymp from Nuke even, and his aggression on ramp. He's not afraid to really pursue the fight, but a bit overzealous there. Just gets punished. And an early 5v4 for Grayhound.
Yeah, this is a very good spot for Grayhound to be in. They've got all this control over towards mid. They're kind of teeing themselves up for the A split here, but ORKS have been allowed to rotate over, right? 3 strong towards this A side of the map, leaving B to just the hands of Vegi. SNX even coming in with some mid aggro. So while this was initially looking pretty good for Grayhound, getting that real estate over towards middle, ORKS have kind of flipped the script here, and Grayhound try to fake the A play. They've lobbed out a bit of util. They kept a player over in main. The real push coming in at B where Vegi is alone, and he will get beheaded by Vexite. So still some legs on this round yet for the Hounds. They're going to have to plant. That much is guaranteed.
Only one flash to play with for them, and Vexite, he might not even use it. It's just going to be the contact in. Good timing, and that's going to be the AWP on the CT side. Milky fishing. Shooting through that smoke, but he ain't connecting on anyone this time, and that's the round. The Hounds with the second in a row, and ORKS looking to save the 8K and AWP to the next.
Yeah, I think the Greyhound should look to do a lot of the legwork here, right? If they can manage to get out of this with how some of the T sides have been for ORKS with a pretty decent half, I don't even really think you're looking at something too miraculous here. We might be onto something for Grayhound. We even kind of got twinges of that over on Nuke.
Yeah, I think for this one, right, what happened in this round, it was a 4v3 situation for ORKS, right? But then Grayhound looked a little bit lost. They had a guy on A, Vexite working B. It was a fake before that. And Vegi in this position, he cannot play to fight. He needs to just play for info in a 4v3, because what you saw was Vexite gets a kill on him and he gets the whole site. You need to play a little bit more for information there rather than be so all in, because that's what really, from a super winnable round for you, it turned into a really difficult round. They are struggling a little bit with the macro.
Yeah, he was caught with indecision, right? You could see him trying to play to live all the way at the back along, but then decided, oh, I might go over towards that little cutout instead, but doesn't get there. Gets caught in transition, and Milky now going to be stuck over towards the pillar. They do have this cave control, but all 3 members are going to be locked in. Vegi going to be able to at least find one in the process, but the B site, it's there for the Hounds to take. Util going everywhere. Vegi thinking about playing a dangerous game here. Spam in, waiting. Milky stopping that swing on the back of site, but they haven't spotted the member crossing long. That's Sico. He's got a molly to dump if he wants to. Bomb plant open on the right side, and Milky connecting for another wallbang. 2v5. It's a huge ask. It's a tall task, and one that the Hounds might not be up to. An MP9 looking to come in from that CT side. SNX as well, just with that 5-7. Sico making noise. Gets that first, not the second, and it's all up to Ali4 in the way. And misses the first shot and that second. It's not gone well this time. ORKS taking that lead back, 3-2.
Oh, man, that was kind of a weird way for the round to play out.
Yeah.
It starts with this triple cave setup for ORKS that kind of becomes a product of that orb shot missing for Milky. Or not missing, I mean, it was dead on. Just somehow only a tag. And as they kind of go through the motions, they end up with everyone trapped in cave. Now, this can be a bit of a weird spot to find yourself in as a CT, but Grayhound, in spite of having a smoke and a means to kind of cut off that point of contact, they try to leave it open and take those fights, and that comes back to haunt them. It doesn't get smoked until they're already in a 3v5. And obviously Milky had that wall bang, which was just complete and utter BS.
Yeah. A little bit of luck goes a long way. Calculated, of course. Vexite going to be able to find Vegi, who's gone on the aggressive with the flash, but it ain't working out for ORKS this time. And with the man advantage, let's see if the Hounds can hit back and keep it even 3 apiece. Still a few members of the ORKS side to get past. Vexite, though, there's those openings we were looking for in the second map of the series, but he's going to be finding them here in the third, the one that matters.
Yeah, he's been unleashed. It feels like a lot of high impactful kills from him early on this T side. That flash play was actually really good. It was just Vexite there just wasn't the best flash, doesn't work out, and after that, you know, Grayhound just calls the all-in, really not the optimal buy for them. Believe in the entering of Vexite there with the utility falling behind him, and he does a great job of finding the kills.
I hate this angle. Always gets me.
I like to think this is the worst skin for the job. Just a little pink circle.
There'll just be a little pink dot.
Staring back at you.
poking through the
Yeah,
leaf.
you ever been up close to the one-eyed pink circle?
I can't say I have, Harry.
Oh. Well, we just were there. So exciting board now. They saved 2 guns, so they're going to have something to work with here in this one. Right, going to be able to partial buy down on the remainders. I guess you're faced with this decision of how far do you want to push the buy. But I hope that they do keep it pretty light around the saved guns.
Or at least figure out where they want to position the ones that they have carried across, right? Try to play to the strengths.
Ooh, they're going for it.
It's going to be tossed around.
Or are they? They dropped one, yeah. I think they need to find a way to deal with B ramp. Like, that's causing them a lot of problems now. They don't have an op to send them there to post up. The flash play that they just tried was a good idea, just wasn't executed properly.
Let's HS going in. Towards mid. Little smoke molly nade combo. Grayhound respecting it and not taking that early mid control. Going for a bit of a default. 2 just waiting at the bottom of mid. Only Vexite lurking towards the lane area. And a bit of pressure towards A this time. Olymp with the MP9 boosted up here. It's a dangerous position if people aren't clearing it, and we'll see if the Hounds are going to do so if they keep moving forward. Looks like there might be a bit of a trap coming through here, Vexite. How's his timing? Can he flip back at the right moment? No is the answer. Good damage onto Vegi, but it's not enough for the kill. And it is going to be the Orcs making the first move, and we'll see if they can convert in the 5v4.
Yeah, you kind of see how this is forced Grayhound to go, right? When they see the aggression like that over at B, they've got to take advantage of the fact that they're going to be slow on the rotates, right? And Orcs have just got all the info, so they rush this A play to come through. After that contact over at B lane, they get themselves into the 3-on-3. Now they've got to deliver on this in the post plant. Util getting lined up for SNX. That's to eliminate Donut a little bit later on. Gonna land in now. Sico playing up on the front. Full blind. Gonna get one through the smoke. Chance to be a fine thing now. And it's just SNX left. He's crossed onto the bomb. With a molly ringing out from the spawn, that will seal the deal on the round, you'd like to think. SNX tries to get out of there, and Inns will not let him escape. So Grayhound now move up into the lead. Lovely time for Sico there. The stars just align for him. Full blind through a smoke. Double kill from the man.
Tracker entries. And then from this position, able to find 2. Whipping it around. SNX had no idea Inns went for the full wrap to play that post plant. And the Hounds take the lead 4-3. Looking for a bit of a scrim at mid, and there's plenty of CTs to get past. All lining up. The USPs will make it work for 1. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things. 4 alive, and a quick round getting it out of the way. And the Hounds in an early lead.
I think at the moment, the macro game for Orcs is really betraying them, right? Even when they have a man up or they have the information, the reactions just aren't there. You know, based off of the information, there's certain reactions the players on the other side of the map should do, and they're not really doing it, and that's giving away back into the round for Grayhound. And unless that changes quickly, I think Grayhound will run away with this game.
I'm trying to fight mid again. HS going to be forced through the util, popping up a storm and hoping he can find a line. It's only going to be Liaz swinging, no one coming through the bottom mid just yet. Sico will eventually, and HS, he's still going to lock this one through. SNX. Going to chime in too. Ali wants more than just a single kill though. No scope, close range, able to take that cave control. And he's going straight in, has no idea Vegi's so close, but he's pulled that util out and misses an opportunity. 3 alive for Orcs as they find a 4th.
You know, that's like trying to have a bit of a read, trying to take the space when he sees that he's like hit this weird timing behind the guy over towards cave. I think you see that double setup coming through cave. A part of you envisions that, you know, that's going to be all there is ready to respond to the cave component. Vegi being so close, playing behind the pillar over towards B allows him to just strafe out wide and lock in that kill when he sees the util coming out. So, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong. It looks silly what aliStair does there, but that's like someone trying to save a round from the info that they have.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, picking a theoretical timing, hoping that it works. Unfortunately, plan didn't go to plan. And now Orcs are looking to go for a late brawl at mid. Sico's already made his way towards Red Room. Flash in, Vegi. Ooh. Pulls out the util, but it's Olymp to get in behind enemy lines, and that's not being communicated fast enough. Big pick coming through from him. Liaz able to trade, but it might be too late. 3v4. And the Hounds are knocking at ORKS' door as that bomb gravitates back towards the B side.
They have to convert this one. They already had a couple of opportunities. The money on Grayhound isn't great, so really ORKS have to close out this 4v3.
They look good to do it. They've pulled everyone over towards B and mid. We kind of have a swing player in HS, right? Just watching out over towards spawn, but you're still keeping the majority of your forces over here at B. ORKS is set up to deal with the B play, and that's what Grayhound are trying to deal them here. You're going to need something, I was going to say, like a big round from Vexite if you were ever going to try and salvage this 2v4, and he was nowhere near Liaz on that push. Almost looked like he was kind of investigating other avenues, but with the bomb getting away from them, his hands are tied. He's got to commit to this play up the ramp. He's seen the short swing, and now they can just face him together. So well done from the ORKS.
And Milky, he was the one that sort of went missing over on Nuke for ORKS as well, having a cracker of a first map. And if we're seeing that here in the third, that's when things can get very scary for the Australians.
And, you know, I mean, I think even some of the more uncharacteristic moves, like what we saw out of Olymp there in mid, where he just kind of mad dashes out of Donut to go fight the player in red, that's not the most orthodox way of going about that. That's the stuff that Grayhound kind of have to watch out for.
He's hungry.
He did get a flash from his teammate. It was, to some extent, coordinated. But yeah, winning that round without Grayhound getting the plant forces them to go on an eco. We'll see if they can make something happen here like they did with the Glocks.
Well, Famous, not the greatest weapon for the job, but it looks damn good in the hands of SNX right now, finding 3 already, swinging for more, and it's a quick round for ORKS, taking that lead back.
Now they're getting loud as well, so we'll see if some of this momentum could help them to play a little bit better, to be a little bit more coordinated. I think, again, they need at least 9 from this point on, right, to really have a chance. I think they're going to be still a little bit struggling on the T side. Although they did beat OG a couple of weeks back online on Ancient. So I expect them to be more proficient than they were on Nuke. Another mid-fight from them.
Trying to play through the util is Sico. He'll cross over, but Olymp there for revenge, and Vegi wins a fight out over towards B. This attempt to get back in a mid from Grayhound, they really want this real estate, and they are going to get away with the kill to Olymp that opens this up. One man in through Donut. Another tucked into the mid cubby. And with that fight being gifted to Liaz down towards B, suddenly Grayhound are feeling quite good about this round.
Yeah, Liaz shows bomb there with that engagement as well. And Inz is just locking down those mid rotations. But it might boil down to the timing of Milky. He's been hitting everything. 2 KD so far, looking to make it even more. If he can get on the right line, Ali could be in trouble. Just on that short side of Donut, and Liaz going all the way to A main. They're just trying to figure out if there's any more numbers towards the A site. If Milky gets this kill, that'll be the critical turning point. But they already have mid control, and you can see that Liaz decides to go back towards Inz instead. So makes the right decision this time, but how's the timing on Milky's full rotation?
Yeah, the fact that they've given him so much time to come in on this backstab, I mean, even if he gets one, even if he gets Inz just crouched up here in top mid, sure, the Donut players are then going to know where he is, but suddenly it's this 2v2, and the claps on mid, the timing for this is perfect. The ORKS know they've hit this timing, and seeing Inz walk away like that has only confirmed that matter. They're actually in a really good spot here, the ORKS. SNX could swing out, get one, they can stop this plant, and there it is, the mowdown from SNX and Milky on that mid flank. The stars aligned for them there. They even, you know, they were following a breadcrumb trail left behind from Grayhound, and then it's that one little bit of leg here of Inz. They see him going around the corner. They know they've hit this godlike timing, both through red and mid. And so very well done from them in the 2-on-3 to tee it up in such a great way.
It was Lemba's bread that they were following the crabs from Harry. And another half buy from the side of Grayhound. Going to be again. Now they have more utility, so maybe they're just thinking, okay, now we have the utility to break this setup from the ORKS.
Oh, awkward timing for SNX. He just mollied the top of ramp as the push comes in. And so he's caught with his util out. That's given them a little bit of room, but ORKS are trying to respond very, very swiftly. I like the pace of this rotate in. They realize that they've kind of lost their ownership of the site by losing SNX. He was the one player entrenched, so they just swarm, they group, and they fight for the extremities, right? Taking long, taking short. Almost immediately they're there with numbers, ready to trade and just deny the real estate being taken, because where that round can get awkward, you know, you lose long, you have Grayhound with a retrieved rifle, someone kind of sniffing around there and damaging you as you try to rotate into retake. They never give it the time or the space to get that far, to have to worry about it. So very composed, considering they lose that first man as well.
Candle's getting lit a little early here. Liaz will be walked out of the server for the round.
Keeps going. Keeps the W.
Are Grayhound ever going to be able to punish him? Milky. Oh, pre-scoped ins on that short side line. Not going to be reacted to in time. Olin almost finds that line up. Big damage onto Sico, and that's going to be an easy finish off for HS. Nice trade coming through. And ORKS still fully locking down the A site. Ali has dropped the bomb and missed a shot. And Vexite now has been lurking up a storm. SNX fully aware, and Vexite dies to the back of the head.
Man, I mean, you know, for Grayhound, I like the idea. I think Vexite has provided some levity in some of these rounds with his B lurking, but for the most part, it kind of ends up feeling a bit surplus to requirement whenever they're trying to go in, and it can be a hard line to thread. I remember watching like the early Astralis when we first had Blame F in here, and he would be like the guy lurking up B ramp.
Why is that? When were the players coming out of Donut towards A, his teammates are dying at 120 in a round?
Yeah,
right?
that's
Because
true.
they're getting baited by all the aggression. Again, it's similar to Nuke. They're starting to play ORKS' game, where they're trying to react constantly to their madness and everything, instead of probably just slowing it down a little bit and resetting the round and trying to outplay them like they did early in this half. So, you know, Vexite, like, he looks out of position, but it's been 30 seconds, 40 seconds. What is he supposed to do, you know? It worked a couple of times when they did slow it down. They won a 3v4 thanks to him going up that B ramp.
So I guess, you know, kind of the intent behind some of these moves.
I think he was
is
7 and 3 in this game, and
Yeah.
8 and 11. Didn't really get as many opportunities.
ORKS showing that they are an adaptive team, making the right changes to get back into the half, and Milky, he has been one of the critical points. Being point man over towards the ramp side, if he gets flashed off in this position, and AWP's not what you want to have in your hands. Stuck in the middle of sight. But it's all going to boil down to the timing again. 1 minute 20. Looks like we're going to see this util come in. It is going to be the two-man swing. SNX finishing off Vexite there, and the B site defense again doing wonders.
Yeah, that's really scary. You know, there should have been something in that for Grayhound. The fact that ORKS have been able to get out in the 5-on-3 is mad. And aliStair, he's been baited in by the footsteps. Sico will respond, sure, but it's not enough. Not enough to win you this round. Not enough to take a sixth right at the end of the half. It's all left on to Liaz, who's been having a very rough go at it here. And he'll get finished off by SNX on that rotate. So a 10-5 half for ORKS. They do a fantastic job locking in the final 7 in a row to find double digits.
something I can hear. Body screaming. You won't admit that you will be close. I know your needs, you know I know. When you're with me, you feel it the most on the low, low, low. You say you're looking, keep looking for it, but you can't find it. Can't find another one to get right with. You try, but never find someone who's vibing. Keep looking for it, but you can't find it. Can't find another one to get right with. You try, never find another me.
Making magic when they need it most.
A new power is rising. Its victory is at hand. This night, the land will be sustained with the blood of Rohan. March to Helm's Deep. Leave none alive. To war. That was stained, but I read it as sustained.
That reminded me of the Forrest Gump scene, you know the one I'm talking about near the start, you know, like... All right. But man, I tell you what, the Orcs have amassed a great army here. Grayhound have got their work cut out for them after a 10-5 first half. The Orcs are feeling good. They take 7 in a row to close.
They're going
and
quick.
Now they're fast out middle into Donut early. But look at the bomb. Sat back on Olymp outside of B doors. This is nothing more than a ruse. What happens when your fake goes this well? They're going to run away. They've got the free plant and beat. Great, the man. How does this feel if you're Grayhound? How does this round
He knew
feel?
immediately though, so they didn't waste any time. And Orcs are too scattered. This is winnable for Grayhound.
They're going to have to go check that. They're wasting this time having to fight the backline. That's a crazy snap from Sico.
Yeah.
Just looked like... Oh, hang on!
Hello?
Vexite suddenly has carved the path back in! And too far away is Milky having to wrap all the way around. They don't have the kit. It's dropped it long. He's still in with a chance, but he's got to act quickly here. And not quick enough as Sico shuts him down. Grayhound managed to find their way back in. They deal with the players flanking them, and then they have that 2v2 open over towards B. They make it work.
I was having flashbacks to the Furia game. Grayhound the other day, I think it was, what, 1v4? Furia managed to shut the door on that one. But Vexite, High Sense Gaming, able to get through those trap setups
And again,
pretty effectively.
it's the macro game that betrays. You're 4v2, the bomb is planted, you could be anywhere. Why are you lurking? Why are you flanking? You don't need to do it. Just be with your teammates and make sure you get the trades. This was it. They needed this pistol.
Arguably, early round macro game was great, but it was just the late round that let them down.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it was the part that was just the fighting that was the strong part for Orcs, right?
Yeah.
Like, as is often the case. But man, like, you know, it was sort of like, yeah, in the minutia there, it felt like two people wanted to be the hero, wanted to be the guy that comes in on the big lurk, that doubles up and wins you the round. But
even in the end on B, the guy playing close wall is like, why are you there? Why are you in the open? Why are you not K with your teammate? Or ramp, or somewhere where you can, you know, have some sort of a crossfire, play together. That's just inexperience, you know. That's just usually, we get these kills, or people like run more, or whatever it is, and it's a really, really big round to lose.
It's one of those things. They probably got a lot of confidence still, you know, going through the veins from that Mirage win, thinking it might be all sunshine and rainbows, but up against a round like this, the Glocks can still do damage, especially at a position like Donut. This Rapper's coming in, but the crossfire was too good. Vexite going to be able to tear him a new one. And Ali as well, picking up more. 7-10. The Hounds are quickly getting back into the game here in the second half.
I think this is probably, these are some of the things that trigger me the most when it comes to Counter-Strike. Like that's our round one.
Yeah.
It actually,
Oh yeah, that's
actually
like
not doing anything. Like we say this sometimes, letting go of the controls would have been better, maybe for them. Would have worked out better than what they did. You know, it's just you hate to see it. The hero plays, the all like trying to outsmart. It's like this game is not that complicated. Like you don't need to do this. Just stick with your teams. It's a numbers game. You're 4v2. Just trade out. It's pistols. They can't spray you down. Right? It's very hard to get those multi-kills like that in a 2v4 in a pistol round. And now the game is like the difference this makes on this game and on this half, it's monumental. It's night and day. It's David versus Goliath, Harry. And it didn't have to be this difficult for ORKS.
No, I mean, they could have essentially done the bulk of the legwork there and then, right? And just left themselves so close to the victory. Now it's like they have to grind rifle rounds out. They have to grind through Grayhound. And they've got to do that while this scoreline is tightening up.
Milky sharp, Milky scary. And giving a little jump scare to Vexite, a little tap on the leg. The bonus round looking pretty good so far. Grayhound in a decent position to deal with the A push that is about to come through. Olymp up on the platform and Sico just trying to get that util dumped as fast as possible. But how's this line going to favour him? And is this nade going to get a chunk of damage done? HS going to be copping that one. Ooh, goes a bit deep. And ORKS realise the rotation's probably already come through, but the lurker has left. Vegi's gone back towards mid instead of staying at lane. And there's still a whole minute on the clock. 3 flashes, 1 smoke for ORKS to go anywhere.
Vexite's getting a lot of info off of the audio cues right now as to what could be happening in the round, right? He heard a lot of players leaving main. Ooh, so they should have been ready for something out through middle. Vexite takes it very, very wide out from Donut. And didn't really have a lot of support.
Donut 2A would be the best call here. They didn't have any information on B. They didn't put any pressure. The players might still have nades. As we see, Inns has a full kit of nades still with 30 seconds left.
Reading this one perfectly. That
and there now you can see the confusion a little bit with the ORKS themselves. You know, they're unsure where they want to end this round. Looks like it's going to be a ramp and all of them just going A.
With the 1 flash. Try to show face that will dislodge a couple of the members. Ali started to rotate, but the molly, as you mentioned, just buys so much time. They're going into B, and Inns just needs to stop this plant from going down. There's a lineup, 2 found, bomb on the ground, and no one able to plant in time. Hounds take the round.
I mean, they will get away with it, right? But
it's messy. You can see
it's scary still. I mean, the fact that they have the util left for right at the end is basically the saving grace there to ever stop that from getting weird. It's good.
It's not saving grace. That didn't happen by. He doesn't have the utility by accident. He has the utility because ORKS didn't. No one was B at the start. They didn't put pressure, and you need to be aware of that when you're making these calls in the mid round. Right? And also what you need to do, you need to run through the molly. You know, you need to commit, you need to do something. You need to understand that the time is against you at that point in the round, right? That's why I said like the better call would be to just go donut again because you killed one of the guys who was there. And have one guy maybe just throw some utility on B, make them think like you went all the way back to B and just had more guys with Olymp and trade out. They still have a couple of guns and obviously this game is still far from over, but a couple of missed opportunities early for ORKS.
Well, in comes some of this A utility. They've only got 1 chance at making it happen. 2 mollies to flush out all these positions. Liaz is going to be spotted over towards Big Box. Donut control still there, but ORKS reroute to mid instead with the top mid smoke. Creeping, crawling over towards lane. But again, there's still just so much util for the CTs to use on this B side of the map. Bomb's still trying to figure out where to go. The wrap in onto Vexite, but this time he's got health to play with, and he's got a decent amount of cover here in Donut. Ali connecting onto Vegi. Timing for Vexite's perfect. And even though the bomb is making its way in mid, Grayhound seem unfazed.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty rough to find a way back into. You know, the presence of HS over towards Red Room was kind of nice, but even he's had to drop back down to go and help out to play the trade game for Donut. Getting himself an AWP here is pretty gnarly. He will be afforded some angles into the site here, but Grayhound are aware of his presence, so they're not looking to give him anything. Doesn't want to die after time either, so
might just happen.
kind of awkward. Grayhound tried to keep him boxed in to punish, but HS going to get out with that AW. Yeah, he will. Makes out like a bandit. And honestly, out of all the ways that round could have ended, not only did he save the AWP, he got one out of the round.
I think they need a timeout. Like, look what happened in this round. You have Milky over here with the AWP, one player close Red Room, one all the way bottom mid. Vegi died on B by himself. Olimp was sort of peeking towards A. Where's the cohesion? Where is them playing together here? They're trying to take Donut together, Olimp alone, and Vegi playing late, right? Like that, you need to do better. I think they needed a timeout.
Well, they're going faster. That's a change in pace. Vegi going to be able to crack that head off of Liaz. It's one of the rifles that's brought into the round and that's doing damage all the way through mid already.
Yeah, straight grouped on the mid play. 3 players just run it up middle. And now ORKS, after they get repelled out of red, they can look to slow this down a little bit. I hope they do just group at the lane for the B hit. They've still got Vegi floating around the red room. He can try and influence the rotates. You got a 3v1 over towards B. And so that looks to be the decision.
Oh, In's pushing into the stack, but the slow peek into the AWP is the deal sealer. Ali going to be able to strike back with 1, but still has 3 members to get past. Deep smoke into CT buys so much time. And it's probably just going to be the save from here. You're looking at the economy for the Hounds. They might be able to make something happen if you put everything together. But it's not going to be a pretty buy.
Yeah, and I guess this was maybe no need for for a timeout because they're just going with a fast call, you know, SNX, maybe feeling and saying, I got this, let's just do this. And it worked out getting the entry kills. Now I know why we didn't catch any of them.
Hang on, does Hugo...
Funny guy, Yanko, funny guy. I did well.
Are you observing?
Yeah, just that round. I'll do one more.
Yeah,
Okay.
do one more now that we know you're here.
You have
Yeah,
to,
so
or?
call me out, sure.
Also, I don't know. The observing wasn't atrocious.
Yeah,
it was
I missed
probably a
one,
low
I missed the
light,
heaven
but
flank. Otherwise, I'm
Mate,
pretty happy with
it. It was a rough round to really watch, wasn't it? A bit of a fast one all the way through mid. You did well.
All right, Hugo, give us some masterclass here. Talk us
Let me show you how it's
talk
done.
us through the kind of mantra for
talk
observing
us
around like this.
through
Hugo.
the observing, yeah.
I mean, first you got to sit and spawn. There's a bit of a tactical
No,
timeout
I don't care about
going,
this.
so-
Give me actual info.
Well, what do you want to know?
Like, who are you going to follow and why?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Who are you going to follow and why?
Well,
theory.
right now we've only got the solo AWP on the CT side, so it's all about aliStair on the big green.
Okay.
The supporting cast, you know, maybe he's going to drop some guns over for them, find some weapons that they can retrieve. But right now we've got ORKS really breaking into this T side, Harry. It's not going to be easy.
There we go. Look at that. Doing a bit of everything.
And they think Grayhound has money to buy here, hence the timeout, or maybe even if they think it's an equal, they know there's a saved op. So those rounds sometimes can be really, really tricky. You're not sure if the pistols are going to be making a play or is it the op who's going to be doing it. So you want to make sure all your ducks are in a row, Harry.
Got to check on them ducks.
Well,
Running down, group together.
ORKS are going to run through their own molly at A. What is going on here? SNX looking to go for an aggressive maneuver and it's worked. Liaz didn't have a lot to bring to the party, but they found this AWP. Do they keep on going through? Either way, that's AWP on the ground. Milky taking down the opposing AWPer there. And the round almost in the bag already for ORKS. Vexite, Famine, not going to be able to find enough. But it is some damage to the economy of ORKS. So long term, it could matter, but right now it doesn't.
Do you feel good, Yanko, about how these last 2 rounds have gone? They've been a lot more grouped, a lot less of this kind of spreading out very thinly across the map. Sure, like they had the round where they kind of accelerate through mid and they leave the bomb outside of B, but I guess that's the call from spawn, right?
All the rounds have been fine at the start. Like the openings of rounds have all been great for ORKS. It's just a couple of times during the mid to late round they made some either a bad decision or they didn't pay attention to their spacing and where everyone is. You know, those fast rounds, they can sort of go wrong real quick if you have the wrong read, right? And you run into where the majority of Grayhound players are. Slower play is definitely safer in that sense. right? You don't have to always guess correctly. So
But I guess
now
like-
you can see now they did a great job of slowing down after 2 fast rounds. Look at the utility for Grayhound. There's only a couple of smokes left, right? So and there's plenty of utility left on the side of ORKS. That's going to make Grayhound uncomfortable in the late round. But now is the time where you need to start applying some pressure, start trying to take some control. If you're ORKS, it seems like they just threw the utility on mid, got one guy there, and they're going to pop out A again.
Oh, and they've heard that tick on aliAS. They know there's at least one donut, but the push is going to come towards that smoke. The dry push through. It's not worked out. Vexite going to be able to tear him a new one. 2v3. And SNX, the timing. Trying to cut the rotation.
No.
He's dropped the ball. Ali turns around in the nick of time. But Vegi's been hitting everything. 21 and 12. 1v3. Can he do it?
Oh, they're all in this smoke. This is so weird. Something weird might be about to happen, and we're all along for the ride. Vegi making it happen. No! One man still to beat, and it's Inns. He's lost him in the smokes. He's lost him in the sauce. Vegi slips on out of there, and Inns is left chasing ghosts. Nothing for the bomb, and Vegi's just toying with him, playing with his food. Inns might tap him out, but it's a round for the ORKS.
He's over 9,000, Harry. He's done it. A 1v3, a crucial round, and that's going to be 13 for ORKS. No money for Grayhound to buy. It's a half buy. What a round. What a time for Vegi to step up.
I don't think anyone had a kit either. Maybe Vexite or aliAS dropped one at some point. I'm just looking back on the stream quickly, but does not seem to be the case. No kits in that round. So comes back to be a factor. And that's going to be the 4-round lead.
Let's
Greyhound's
go,
economy
Marek, indeed.
in the bin. Scrimming at mid. Couple of pistols up against rifles. Never going to go well. And this one has been put by the wayside. ORKS looking down the barrel of a 14th round.
Another thing, you know, a coach would take a timeout here. You take a timeout just so you can like calm down a little bit, say something, like call something for your team, so they just don't think about this horrible round that they've lost. And also take away some of the momentum. It's like a basketball timeout, right? You take it when the other team is getting hot, sort of make them sit down and maybe make some changes and say something to your team, right? All of a sudden it's been 30 seconds after you lost that, and you have to play a round, which if you lose, you might lose the game. Right? I just think that's also a problem for Grayhound emotionally. Without a coach, they're not doing a good job of sort of taking pauses to break their opponent's momentum, to calm themselves down. Well, let's see.
Looking for that opening. Blinded Milky spotted. Won't shoot back this time. But forced to hit the brakes. Big nade damage. Chunking down Vegi, chunking down Milky. But the ORKS are going to keep on fighting. Hitting Berserker mode.
There's only Sico here. Sure, they have a quick flank for Cave, but they're going to get this bomb site.
Oh, spotted on the cross. There's the info. And Greyhound posture for the retake. Fast lane control starting to come on the flank. And Milky not quite aware yet. Will start to flick around. Sico drawing attention, but there's the connection. Not spotting Inns though, who's creeping on in. There is that smoke behind them. It's looking kind of good for the hand. How's that happened? Inns still finds it anyway. Knows there's someone on the other side of the smoke. Connects Olymp, the lurk, the late flank to come through. Is he going to find it? Not this time. aliAS spins around, saves the day, and the Hounds still have a shooting shot in this two-dog race.
Wow, what a wild round of unique kind of interactions and flank timings and weirdness.
My heart.
The fact that he flanks through the smoke, tries to push through it, gets hit by the smoke. You think that's the end of Inns. You think he's screwed there. Like, out of all the places that smoke could have gone, of course it hits me. But then he gets his own back. He spams him out through the smoke. Meanwhile, you have guys like aliStair applying good pressure over towards long with that AWP, just pushing and prodding, seeing what he can get away with, creating a bit of room, a bit of pressure. Then it comes down to that flank, and that's very well read by aliAS. That could have been such a terrifying component to the round.
Well, we're cooking in the pressure, and we're cooking at mid. There's a lot of members here, 5 to be exact, but it's worked out for Greyhound, at least for the first couple. aliAS spotting Vegi over under the lane there, and now from the 5v2 angle, Milky. He's still been so damn sharp. aliAS starting to turn up just when he's needed. Potentially the savior. to escort the ring the whole way to Mordor.
He is the Samwise. Vexite's Frodo.
Putting the team on his back.
Putting the team on his back. Finally, a sort of a good read from Grayhound, you know, to be in force and win out on that mid control. A lot of utility damage there, and that's going to force a sort of a breather, you know, a eco from ORKS, where they're going to be probably talking things through a little bit.
Yeah. It goes to show just how much damage Grayhound has done in the long term to that economy.
That previous round was the first time where you saw like the early round really not work out at all for ORKS. In all the other rounds, you know, they would at least get an entry or get a trade and have an opportunity. This round they were just shut down from the get-go.
Well, they're having fun. Looking at one another.
So another interesting thing now, when it comes to calling and mind games, I can tell you is as well. So now that they got completely shut down trying to take mid, right? So what happens in the next gun round? So what is like, you know, SNX is thinking maybe, okay, they're not going to play heavy mid 2 gun rounds in a row. They shut us down so hard. They won't think we'll come back to it. We'll do something else. At least we'll play it slower, or maybe we'll try to hit the sides, you know? And Grayhound on the other side of things might be thinking, okay, we shut them down mid hard. Maybe they go back to the A, execute, and try to creep up B. Let's play a 2-1-2 or whatever it is. Let's like play a different sort of a setup. Or let's just do the same thing again. Let's make sure they don't have mid, and then we can just react, right? So it can go both ways in that sense. How do you feel? What do you want to do? I think also you need to take into account the buy for ORKS. They don't have all the nades. They have the op on Milky. So that also restricts them a little bit in terms of what is it that they can do. And they repeat, Grayhound repeats the call basically from the last gun round by taking mid fast.
Adaptation from ORKS is just to pump those brakes, not even go for that lane control early, all tucked away in B main, A main, waiting for the Hounds just to dump this utility. And speaking of utility, ORKS only really have one chance to hit a site, 3 smokes hanging around.
You're left hinging on this fight for the lane control. And like ORKS knew they would have to fight for this real estate, right? When you don't go play this early, the odds are it's going to get taken. So they should anticipate these engagements. They all flood out through the doors.
It's worked.
But Inz is going to keep them at bay, keeps them locked out of lane. This is kind of the alarm bell starting to go off for ORKS here. He'll reposition back into the site, looking to play out the 4v3, and that gives a much-needed bit of breathing room to ORKS to at least get this lane control. Problem they're going to have is that there's not really other options here. Sure, you can run the risk of dropping mid and trying to go late into A, but it's all unknown territory. It's all uncharted waters, so they kind of have to just follow through, stick to their guns with this call at the start of the round, which is the B play. Thankfully, it's only Inz here, and he's very low.
Yeah, they heard the scope, right? They were close enough, I think. Only one flash.
They might not expect it to be that same member. A little bit too slow on the trigger there, and that's going to be the equalizer. 3v3 now. Plenty of time to plant and plenty of space to play around. Milky with the AWP playing from Cave could be a problem, but we'll see if he keeps on moving forward. Goes for that full wrap. Bomb planted for ramp, of course. But ORKS playing for long instead. No util to play around. Molly going to force him into the open, and in comes this ramp push. Ali going to be able to connect. HS spotted, but it's not working too well for ORKS. They're getting sent straight back to the hell, straight back to the depths of Mordor, and that is Liaz locking in another 13 to 14. We got a game on our hands.
I don't know what makes less sense to me, that Grayhound would leave B in that round and opt more for A, where you have already 2 guys in Donut and on A, and Vexite has all nades, and you leave a 17 HP or whatever it was, Inz with the op alone by himself. When you heard the sound cue, bottom B ramp, a flash, right? That they are, I mean, sure, they could be faking that they're going there, but I think that's maybe giving a little bit too much respect to ORKS. And then ORKS getting that bomb site and losing a 3v3 post plant just without getting a single kill. I mean, Wow, I thought they
Especially, you know, especially with the real estate they get as well. Like normally when you're kind of set up in cave and long, you have like the 2 strongest post plants really that are available.
But it was Vexite's incendiary, really.
Yeah, the fact that he had full util.
Yeah.
So that part was nice at least, and it allowed so much impact to be found on the flank.
No, why? This is an all-in. I feel like if they lose this, it's 16-14 Grayhound.
So this one's of high importance. They've got to open up successfully, and that's not the start they wanted. aliStair looks them dead in the face as they try run dry up ramp. And he laughs to himself that this is what they've offered him, that this is what they've bought into this all-important round.
To be honest, I feel like, well, okay, Olib finds a kill here. Let's see if he can find something more.
He was definitely trying to be that kryptonite for the Hounds over on Nuke. Couldn't get across the finish line. And in comes the little remaining util for ORKS. Boosting up over the platform, and that will be the bomb spotted. Back of the belt scene, Sico jiggling, drawing attention. Ali just barely micro flicks across there. And now the bomb.
Oh, he's
going
going for it.
To side. No cover. Insanity.
Where is HS going?
Oh, and he doesn't even get the 1 kill that maybe could have got him. This is so rough. Olim's going to have to do it all alone. He needs the ace clutch in the 1v4. He's got 40 seconds to work with, and every one of these corners could be harboring a hound. Sico in the temple, first on the chopping block, and he's going to give it to him. Olim falls 14 all, and with that being the buy for ORKS, they were all in. That money's starting to run out. What do they want to do here, Yanko? I guess you're just partial buying with a full buy up against 15. But that's rough. It means it's all going to come down to this rifle round in round number 30.
And I mean, that round was their last timeout before this buy. So that was a conscious decision that they made. I just don't like it because just you could eco, and then on 14-14 you have a full buy. Now you're half buying and you're giving away match point. Why? It doesn't make any sense. And that last buy was terrible. I mean, you don't have all of your stuff, so you're ending the game with 2 half buys and 1 force.
Lots of util coming through towards the B site, but it's held strong by the doggies. Solid crossfire from long from sight, and those flashes not breaking it at all. Huge utility damage coming out from the blue this time. And Olymp again finding himself in a 1vx
and
position.
You know what that is? That's just choke. That last round buying, that's choking. That's crumbling under pressure. That's saying like, screw it. That's you, Harry, unboxing.
That is me unboxing. I'm winning.
When the game gets close. That's literally what that was. It was like, let's just go for it, you know, because subconsciously you don't really feel like you can win the game, you know, like you can win it like the proper way. So you're trying to catch them off guard or whatever force the issue, and that's just way too, I don't know.
Did you take the elite build for a swing?
Yeah, I mean,
so now you'll have like a full buy, but the way those last couple of rounds have gone, you know, your players don't really have any confidence left. I mean, even now, Olymp has 3,400 and HS has 4K. Like that's a Galil and a couple of nades for Olymp, AK Smoke Kevlar for HS. I mean, you're ending the last 3 rounds without having everything you want. That's horrible.
That is horrible. And it feels like you've kind of left it all hinging on a miracle happening instead of...
you lost faith, Harry.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if the doors are going to be on their hinges on B, because it's looking like a fake fast explode again. No one going with that plethora of util from ORKS and trying to sell it as a fake towards A, making noise towards here, and it's working. The Hounds, they're rotating, they're running straight around the race course, and B's going to be free.
Oh, this is FaZe versus Ents all over again, Harry. Take it away.
Yeah, it's a huge rotation. It's a huge over-rotation out of Grayhound. They never really had a lot of info what was happening on A, and so those smokes were enough to spook them. It's not like ORKS have had to do anything convoluted here. At the first sign of trouble, Grayhound up and left this B site.
They have too much utility, Harry. They're going to fumble this by trying to use all their nades.
Getting caught with util out is always something that can haunt you for a long time, but this round could haunt the Hounds if it doesn't go well, and it's working wonderfully for ORKS. The poles raising that flag right now. Vexite 1v3, not going to be able to find him, and we're going to OT here in the third map of the series.
It's not that side, it's the other side. I'm a good fucking caller. Sit the fuck down. That was my...
Yeah, no, man, that was very good.
That's a great segment. Maybe we have it and we can play it so I just don't look like a total twat after this game. But we're in the break. Wow. You see, you could have done that at 14-14 if you ecoed at 14-13. And it could have been a match point. But now we're straight into overtime.
Yeah.
Straight back into the action.
No breaks, same sides. Plenty of cash to play with. Let's see if ORKS do something similar. We've still got SNX waiting to throw a late top mid smoke, so you'd expect them to go for this late mid crunch.
Sico's got that voice in his head. I can feel it. It's telling him, give it a look. Just see if there's someone on the boost. Just check. Go on, just check. And he will, with the flashbang to assist.
Big difference.
Yeah. So he at least gets that AWP off the angle before he goes running around. I could tell by how he was jiggling, man. I'm watching him on my POV over here. And it was with someone with the intent that they were about to have a fight. But at least teed up with the flashbang. They get the info where that AWP lay at the start of the round. ORKS have got mid. That's something that they've been able to grab in these last few rounds, is kind of get players over towards red or donut. And so they're looking to use that space again. This is all the makings of a B split here. And honestly, ORKS are positioned very well across the map with SNX in position to influence the rotates. Oh, nice shot out of Ins, but the end of the line very quickly. And this is where SNX thought was going to look to be a little more involved. He actually tried to leave red there. And so that's given them a fight. He had to make noise in doing that. So they go chase that one kill, giving over a 3v3 and a chance for the Hounds.
They're going through the smoke. Big flash across the top, second to cover. And Vegi can't see a damn thing. The flash is hitting everything. Milky needs to do the same thing to bring it back. But with the AWP and the swing and the positioning from Grayhound, spacing too good. Trades come through. And the first round of OT is in the bag.
Talk SNX to me there, Yanko. That's a bit of a weird one.
Give me an aneurysm.
Yeah.
There was some molding going on my left side here.
Because, man, like, that one's
Just run away. Just buy time. Just go to donut. Like, you don't need to take that 1v1. It actually would have been even been a 1v1. It's a 4v3 situation, right? And again, they're playing like super close to the smoke, sure, but
it felt kind of indecisive. Like, he wanted at first to hang around and try to take him down as they're rotating, and then he's like, okay, well, last time we lost this round because we didn't have players in position. I'm going to try slow them down. And then he got like caught in that no man's land of neither playing safe nor taking fights. Just kind of doing neither.
You know, they have to come and defuse the bomb. Oof. Like, they don't need to just kill you. They need to defuse the bomb as well, and that takes time. Play for the time. Play for the bomb. Don't just play super deep and die before, they were dead before Grayhound even got to the bomb.
Well, In's falling early. Loses that lane control, giving up cave as well. 2-2 split, and Ali hoping that he can find someone poking their head out here at mid. But it's all going to boil down to the timing. Oh, spotted. Lane member. Not going to go for the swing initially, and there's that rescope jumping across. Molly drop to buy the time, but there's space to work around that for Olin. And the bomb is still over towards that B side. Vexite trying to make a hero play, but he's only able to find the single, and Sico now has to have his head on a swivel to make this work. There's pressure coming from all the extremities of B. And he's going to keep on going forward. An opportunity. That's going to be SNX hitting the ground. Bomb starts to make its way through the donut. But can they find their just desserts?
I mean, Grayhound have at least kind of rotated over towards B at the sign of that, right? This fake has actually drawn players away, which is quite nice for ORKS to work with.
Real slow approach.
First on the scene. And aliStair out through red. They've cleared mid. This is so wild how they've kind of bypassed each other here. They find their way in through donut. Oh, HS just looks away. And so this crossfire that was attempted to be set up over in spawn just falls apart for the ORKS. Grayhound managed to pick it up.
Playing games. Like, they shouldn't be playing full games. They should just play retake first, like for a month, before they're allowed to join a tournament. I don't know.
It is hard to find.
Also the mid round.
Hard to find
so
servers in
aliStair
Europe.
shows himself donut. shoots, they kill Vexite pushing. Why don't you just speed up B? The op isn't there, you're 4v2. At worst case, if the other guy is also B, who's the A player, if Liaz is somehow B and they're mind gaming, you're 4v2 against 2 rifles. Somehow this worked out that they got the bomb down, but it's not like...
Yeah, I think it was like even incredible that it got to that point, honestly, right? Like it took a few strokes of luck, a few over-rotates from the Hounds.
Ooh. Pushing the point at lane. And the Hounds want this one, smoking off B main. And they'll hold on to it for the moment. Sico, 30 and 21. A sight for sore eyes and a sight that is very, very rare. Nade towards the bottom of mid. And the Hounds with that pick are looking to lock it down clean on the CT side in this first OT.
This is going to be rough. Absolutely no map control. Deciding to go back towards B. It's all going to be about whether they can get a couple of good headshots, really. But with Vexite pushing, it might not even come to that.
Full control. Still a chance for things to go wrong, though. And we'll see if that happens. Again, another bit of util used just to lock them on in. Smoke on the lane to try to split up the troops, but the nade, the spray, and everything going right for the Hounds. Vexite comes to the party just in time, finds those two. And it's XNX to fall. 18 to 15. 3 match points to play with for Grayhound. And ORKS are just playing for that second OT now and their tournament lives.
I think, unfortunately, just too many missed opportunities for ORKS. Starting with the end of regulation and then the first 2 rounds in overtime. I think some of that inexperience is really showing in these tight moments.
U2 going everywhere. Sico takes it on the face and makes his way to face up through Red Room, going dry through that top mid smoke, making noise, drawing attention, and the bomb's still down towards the bottom of mid. Vexite again lurking towards that B side. Liaz on the opposite side of the map playing wing. But still no picks for the Hounds, but they do have strength of position.
Oh, aliStair gets away with that over in middle, and now Sico looks to make his move through red. He will get spotted here. Trying to stay alive for as long as he can, hoping he can milk this a little bit more. There's 2 players there to deal with him. Grayhound have still found themselves sat pretty in the 4v4. Now it's just a question of where do they want to end up. They've got a minute left. They had a player over towards A who's just up and left this side of the map. And with Inns making it across to the red room, it looks like they want to go for this B split. They've got him in position to influence rotates. Now, we've seen SNX in this exact same spot, and we all remember how that round went as we've gotten into OT. Let's see if Inns is able to get a little bit more out of this.
He still has a nade and an incendiary SNX, so he should be using that as the smoke is fading. That could be round defining here.
Nade comes out first. Molly just a little bit after, but it will separate the push. Good timing on that. Grayhound try to help out with flashes, try to go fighting for long, and Vexite, he'll just full send. Gets away with 1 on the long push. Inns all the way through red room now, and this rotate still isn't even coming through for ORKS. It's allowed Inns to get to such a good position. He gets that one for free, and this could be the beginning of the end for the ORK armies. Vegi moving out the long side, looking desperately for his route to win this. He's got a 1v1 right here. If he could win that, the round is to follow, but he goes hunting for this CT lurk. He goes hunting for that last man, and he comes to pay the price. Grayhound pick up their first dub, and they'll keep fighting here in the Pro League. For the ORKS, it's the end of the line, a done deal, as this one falls apart in OT.
The Eagles have come, Harry. They took away Frodo.